welcome into here we are in another edition of Silver Lining Podcast. I'm Adam in Arizona. There's Rex in Arizona, two separate places. I'm at home. He's at the airport. And that's how it goes with our podcast once in a while. And I remember I did a live from the airport at one point, right before I loaded onto the gate. That's what Rex is doing. So we'll have him for like 45 minutes. Last week, we didn't do a podcast. So we're back at it this week. And we've scheduled some really good guests coming up in the next couple of weeks that we hope that will help you, help us, all about healing and learning new things about healing, techniques and things that people have done to heal. So with that being said, how is everybody? You can start in with the comments. Missy is moderating today. Thank you, Missy, for moderating. You can ask any questions you want. We'll talk a little bit about Lori's trial or hearing this week. A lot of you may have questions or want to talk about that. Rex and I would love to talk about what we're about to start on September 11th. And we're going to do it all the way for like 3 months, that we really have a focus and a vision of how we want the podcast to go in the next 3 months for healing for people. Lorraine says hi from Ireland. I don't know what time it is in Ireland, but thank you, Lorraine, for jumping on and being part of our live podcast today. Let's hear from Rex from the airport and see if we can actually hear him and see what the background noise is all about.
Well, it's quiet right now. As soon as you started, Adam, I got my first overhead announcement. I was hoping I was sitting in a spot that didn't have overhead announcements, but that's not the case. Cami is on also. Hello, Cami.
Yeah, Cami.
Good to see you.
By the way, Cami is she is a client of Accountable, and she is doing amazing. She's doing amazing things, and she's over the hard part, and now she's on to green pastures, as we like to call that. So congratulations, Cami, on all your hard work, your dedication, trying to achieve your goal. We're almost at your goal, and then we're going to make new goals for Cami and continue with that. So I'm super proud of her. She's been doing great.
And Audrey, another one from the UK, from England. Welcome, Audrey. We have Lee from Nashville. It's 11:30 in Ireland, Adam, and in response to our earlier question. And Barbara Brown is on in a cooling trend from Kansas. I wish we had a cooling trend.
84 degrees in Kansas. My old stomping grounds. I could say that for so many states. My old stomping grounds. So could you, Rex?
I can, from a lot of states and a few countries.
Yep. Hello from Arkansas. That's Betty. That was one of my other stomping grounds, was Little Rock, Arkansas. Love it.
Oh, Carrie Ann, our friend, I believe, from Salt Lake. If I have her right, Carrie Ann.
Yes.
Our biographer, if you remember, Adam, how well she did at biographing.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
For us.
Really good.
And Allison from Utah. Not my first wife, Allison.
Because she's in Arizona, I think.
It is. Just saw her on Friday.
Oh, did you?
Yep. Saw Allison. I was at Kimmy's and she stopped by. So
good.
To say hi to the ex. We have a good relationship, still parenting together.
Everything's cordial. Everything's cordial.
Good. Nashville's in the house. New York. A couple places from New York.
I haven't talked to my ex in a minute.
I haven't talked to your ex either since she banned me on Facebook.
Yeah, I think she moved to North Carolina though.
Oh, did she?
She's got a whole new life in North Carolina. I'm happy for her.
Okay, I missed it on Carrie Ann. She's from Idaho. Okay, my bad, Carrie Ann.
Carrie Ann's from Idaho. That's right. Yeah.
Thank you, Audrey. Said love you too. From Seattle, my old stomping grounds.
Yeah, there you go. That's a stomping ground that I've never been in.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Black
South
Widow
Central
from
Utah,
Ireland.
Sandra.
Yeah.
Everybody's checking in. We appreciate you guys being part of our live podcast. Sorry about no podcast last week. And then last weekend was Labor Day. Rex and I thought we'll let you guys labor on Labor Day and not have to deal with us.
Yeah, but we missed you.
We did.
Missed you a lot. Let's talk about Colby's channel. Eat the Food Tina is asking about that. Hi, Adam and Rex. Missed you guys last week. Did you check out Colby's YouTube podcast about his mom? Do you want to talk about that, Adam?
Sure. Yeah, I saw the first like 15 minutes, I think, of Colby's new podcast. I haven't seen his second episode. I think the second episode was he played his mom, him and his mom's conversation, I guess, why his mom is in jail. And you know, I saw Colby on Saturday. I spent time with him playing basketball, and we it's more therapy. It's like we both have so much stuff to get out that we have therapy with each other and shoot baskets at the same time. Unfortunately, I win everything: horse, pig, everything that we play. Just my balls constantly go in and his don't. But as we chit chat, you know, I told Colby, I was like, you know, if this is good therapy for you to do your podcast, I'm 100% behind you. Whatever help you need from me, I'll be there for you. And, you know, Colby also is blamed for a lot of things, just like I was blamed for a lot of things with Lori and Alex and the road that they took with, you know, the kids and all that stuff. So I'm sure Colby has a lot of things to say. It's probably good therapy for him to do his podcast. I might go on his podcast and be a guest. I think we talked a little bit about that on Saturday when we were playing basketball. And I think he was going to have some, you know, have guests come on and that kind of stuff. So I think it'd be good for him. I told him, I said, hey, if it feels good to get the stuff out that you want to get out, I think, you know, it helped me, Rex and I, with our podcast. Writing a book helped us. Doing the podcast helped us. And I know a lot of people go straight to therapy and say, I just need therapy and, you know, all that. So I did not see the second, his last one, but you saw it. What'd you think? Let us know in the comments if you saw Colby's new podcast. What do you think about it?
And we are just supportive of whatever Colby wants to do, whatever he feels he needs to do to get some healing and to be able to detach a little bit from all that stuff that surrounds him with this whole situation, because so much of it's negative. So we're thrilled when he gets any type of positivity in his life.
And out of all the victims, in my opinion, Colby has it the worst.
Yeah, he's lost the most.
Yeah, the most. But he doesn't want anybody to feel sorry for him. He doesn't want to be one of those, you know, that whole thing. So there's a lot to think about when it comes to that. Oh, here's a good question. Rex, did you see your niece Megan? That's from Victoria.
In fact, I just got a text from Megan.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a voicemail.
Oh, but you did see her in San Antonio, right?
I did see her. I went by and saw her and met two of my Greases and a group, two great nieces and a great nephew. Now I've met them before. Last time I saw them, they were little kids, like 15 years ago. So
yeah, it
was good to spend some time with them and spend some time with Megan. We didn't talk anything about podcasts, about the case, anything like that. We were just catching up because Megan and I don't get a lot of opportunities to talk. And I feel the same way about Megan as I do about Colby. She's had tough stuff going on in her life. A lot of noise when I start talking here.
That's all right. All we hear is your voice. We tune everything else out.
Okay. And a lot going on in Megan's life. And we just hope she finds what she's looking for. She does a podcast. I believe she's written a book. We don't see things eye to eye on a lot of subjects. that doesn't hurt our relationship. We can still have a relationship outside of that because we're people, we're adults. Same thing with Colby, really. There may be some things we don't agree on, but we certainly love the relationship and don't want any of this stuff to get in our way of that.
Yeah. So those are some of the questions you guys have. We'll get back to more of your questions, whatever you want to talk about today. Rex and I do want to let you guys know that we really want to. I don't know if you remember a podcast a while back when Rex was talking about doing 22 push-ups in the morning and why he does that. And we thought that going this direction here for the next couple months on the podcast can help so many people. And it doesn't necessarily have to be vets, because, you know, PTSD or PTS it's more than just vets that go through it. But we are going to try to line up some guests that I think could help people. And we have a whole focus on, you know, getting a certain amount of subscribers, a certain amount of sponsors, and really trying to focus, getting our website up and really focusing on how we can help everybody. Because it seems like everybody who watches our podcast has some kind of trauma. We all have something, we all have this one thing in common. We're all here to either heal or to feel good or to feel safe or to have a family member, you know, because we're all family in this podcast. And so with that being said, we're really going to try to focus in and try to help as many people as we can. And I would love to have you invite one of your friends, your neighbors, a coworker, somebody to subscribe to our channel, just so if they're going through something, that this may bring them peace. It may bring them some kind of healing. And they may feel safe when they come here and really like it. And so that's the focus. Rex, you can talk more about the focus that we're going on starting September 11th here in a couple days. Oh, turn your back off mute. You muted yourself because of the noise in the back. Okay.
And turn the virtual background off so you can see my wristband here. Of course, I have a Tylee and JJ on this side, as you do too, Adam.
Yeah.
You wear several wristbands. This says 22 a day on it from the Valhalla Project. That's 22. That's just a reminder that 22 veterans take their own life every day. That's such a tragedy. And so, Adam, I even got these for you and Ben and Alice.
Oh, nice.
I'll mail them to you. They should be home waiting for me when I get there.
Good.
They're the silicone bands. This one's a metal.
I'll just add to the ring of fire.
Yeah. Just add to it. But particularly at this time, we wanted to focus on veterans, as Adam said, not exclusively, but Veterans Day is coming up the 11th of November. So between 9/11, which is Patriots Day, in memory of those who lost their lives when the United States was attacked, between 9/11 and 11/11, we want to emphasize getting help for those people traumatized that are veterans, because a lot of the people that take their life do so because they haven't been able to deal with the trauma and they get tired of living with it. Now, all of us can understand that. We have when we're in that situation, when we get depressed, when we're feeling those that trauma, we can understand how people would give up eventually. And we want to get them as much help as we can, any way we can. So that's why we're doing this emphasis. We aren't a big organization. There's some big, wonderful organizations that address that. But we want to do what we can.
So we're really going to focus in here starting September 11th, bringing you some really good, interesting guests that can maybe help with some stuff. Going back to questions, Christine says, I had a small fire in my bedroom, but was able to extinguish quickly and no damage, no injuries. Thank God. Wow. I don't know if I've ever had a fire in my bedroom before. It sounds exciting though.
Yeah, there's some smoking activity going on there. I don't know what it was, but
Yes.
that's
Congratulations on no damage done in your room and
Yeah.
that everybody's safe. And you knew where the extinguisher was. I guarantee there's not an extinguisher in this house. If there is, I have no idea where it is.
And I put Lee T's question back up on the board. There are not videos of my 22 push-ups. I'm usually doing that at 5:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
There's no one with a video camera around at that time, so
Well, if you
can
want,
explain, Adam, while I mute here.
The next time we're together, if I'm at your house, instead of getting in the hot tub at 5 a.m. at your house, I will bring the camera into your room and videotape you doing your push-ups just to see if you can actually do 22 push-ups. It's amazing.
You know, that's valid because recently, with my travel and my knee rehab, I was off push-ups for a few weeks, and that doesn't come back real quickly.
Yeah, you got to take your time.
Sometimes I have to do a set of 15 and then another set of 10 to get it all in.
Yeah,
so that's a valid call out there, Adam. Thanks a lot for bringing that up.
Sorry. Carrie Ann says, how was your vacation? Did you guys get enough sand in your toes? Oh my gosh, San Diego was amazing. Yes, we got plenty of sand. Matter of fact, I got sand all in my bag everywhere. So I had to take it to the car wash and just vacuum everything out. But yeah, San Diego, I mean, the weather there is amazing. The beach is great. It's a cool vibe. I mean, I really enjoyed our time there. Did you enjoy it too, Rex?
I loved our time in San Diego. We were there with good people, did great things. I got some bonus time, saw some friends of mine that lived there in San Diego. Shout out to Steve and Linda that are doing miraculous things in their own life. But along with that, just our time together, going out to eat, going to the beach, just a blast. Seems like too long ago now.
Yeah, I know. It feels like it was forever ago, and it was just a couple of weeks ago that we were there. Rebecca Wolf says, I can't find Colby's podcast. Can you post a link if you don't mind? Yes, I'm sure somebody can post a link on here. I don't know how to post links, so guaranteed somebody can do that.
And we may not know how to find this podcast ourselves, so that's either one of us.
Rex, stop that. It's embarrassing. You keep embarrassing us.
You call me out, I'll call you out. No, we both
back and forth. You should have said, Adam, where's the podcast at? Where's the link?
But we have said many times, we do not listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I'm not big on it. Yeah,
it's a time thing, and for me to listen to one, no matter how interested I am. In fact, when we were at Tylee and JJ's Memorial and we met Matt and Heather Daybell, I was talking to Heather's daughter, her adult daughter, who was right there, and I told her the biggest compliment I can give your mom. Her mom was sitting right there too. Said biggest compliment I can give your mom is, I listened to 2 hours of her 3-hour podcast she did with Lauren Matthias. And I said, I've never listened to a podcast more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest compliment I could give her.
And I know there's so many people. When Rex and I first started doing this podcast, we were in a studio. Sean had us on a clock that was literally huge in our face, clicking down. He had an opening and an intro, and he goes, you guys have 29 minutes and 45 seconds to get in and get out because I have this, and this. So we were on a time thing, and we thought, man, 30 minutes is a long time to do a podcast. And then all these comments came in. It's like, why aren't you guys talking for 2 hours or 3 hours? I was like, what? People do a podcast for 2 or 3 hours? And I guess what it is people can just turn the podcast on. You and I think that people are on YouTube watching, which 90% of the people who listen to our podcast are driving in their car listening to the podcast on wherever they get their podcast. And once you're driving in your car or you're at home doing dishes or whatever the situation is, that's where people listen to podcasts. It's like in the background, you're still busy doing something. So that's where I found out, oh, that's why people like longer podcasts, because it keeps their brain busy while they're trying to do something else.
Yeah, and I don't drive anywhere. My commute to work is about 20 steps to my office. So
Yeah.
not being in the car that much, I listen to books when I'm in the car for a few minutes.
You're killing me, Smalls. I love the name. I love it. It's such a, a quote. It's one of the biggest quoted movie lines of all time. And so for you to grab that, that's amazing. Question is, have either of you spoken to Lori? The answer is no for me. I don't know about Rex.
I have not spoken to Lori for 5 years.
And yeah, Lori I haven't talked to Lori since she cut me off. I know she talks to my mom, and that's all that I really know that she does. And, she's still in the same, from what I understand, she's still in the same space as where she's been. So nothing has really changed with that. And, we speculated a long time ago, Lori's been in jail such a long time now that I think we all said, well, once she's in jail for a while, at some point she's going to break and something's going to happen. Well, she's been in there a long time and still nothing has broke. So, and I guess earlier there was a hearing about, her lawyers not wanting cameras in the courtroom. Is the court still going to be in February? As far as we know?
I can't remember if it's February or April. I'm not keeping close enough track right now.
Yeah. But and it comes up. And by the way, the prosecution in Arizona hasn't reached out to me. So I have no clue if I'm going to be testifying or not, or what kind of questions they would ask me or anything, because this is about Charles's death. And I think I was the last person to text Charles when he was alive. So obviously the Chandler Police Department didn't find that that wasn't a huge thing for them because they never contacted me. So
you may be off the hook.
Of course, the Chandler Police Department also left Charles's phone with Lori as they left, and they forgot about it. And a day later, like, oh, Lori, bring Charles's phone back to the police station. I'm like, the number one piece of evidence. What'd you guys fight over? Why did you guys shoot Charles? Well, I was in his phone and I was looking at stuff on his phone. We were fighting over his phone. The number one piece of evidence. Well, the police department, as Lori batted her eyes and talked her way out of it, we'll just go ahead and we'll let you guys go. He come down, and then we forgot to get Charles's phone, the number one piece of evidence. So
a little bitter there, Adam, are you?
I'm just wondering how that's going to go down in court. Because I am going to say that no, I won't. Whatever they ask me, who knows what they're going to ask me, if they even do. I don't want to go to court. I don't even want to testify. I don't want to be in the courtroom. I don't want to see Lori. I don't think I'm ready for any of that. People say if you do have to do that, it's going to be very traumatizing for you. I don't know that for sure, but that's what people are speculating. So we'll just see how that goes. Yeah, put that up here. Belated birthday for Rex. Yes.
Yeah, Gary, I appreciate that. I got older last weekend, and she actually has a toothless dinosaur video that's dancing to some great music. She wanted to send it. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what I need, something to make me feel older. That gift that Lisa posted with the dinosaur, the hoodie, was created by my daughter, Kaylee, the same one that did the cover for our book. She is an incredible creative artist. That was the one with the T-Rex with the walker. And then all the little T-Rexes at the bottom for our G kids and G dogs. So, but Lisa did post that.
Did you, so you had a birthday. Are you still in your 60s or have you jumped to the 70s yet?
Sorry, I'm going to mute on.
Oh, you're muting yourself. Oh, because they're calling for his deal. So Rex and my son Zach have the same birthday, August 30th. So I got a chance to go with Zach and spent time with him for his birthday as well. Rex was in Vermont, and I was here in Arizona or not Vermont. Where does Kaylee live? Somewhere out there.
In Delaware.
Delaware. All those Maine, Vermont, Delaware. Sorry if you're from there. They all
East
I
of the
get confused.
Mississippi, it's all the same, isn't it? Here's another birthday present from, it says G-Dubs.
Oh, that's cool.
G-Dad. But
Yeah.
Kellen, one of my older grandkids, instead of calling me G-Dad, he calls me G-Dubs because I eat at Dubs so much. Dubs ribs.
Oh, yeah.
So I was at his game today. I went to 3 basketball games today.
Wow.
Kids and
did anybody get in a fight? Were parents yelling at referees like I hear?
Little bit, just once, but wasn't real bad. Not as bad as it often is.
You or somebody else?
No, not me. Not me.
Yeah, no,
I was
you
just
don't get
enjoying it. It's hilarious, that the ages they are. The oldest is 9, and he can. They had a really good game, but the rest are kids just running around shooting the ball whenever they touch it. Kind of like you, Adam. It's just fun.
It's just fun watching me shoot. I just love it.
Yeah. So I'll shoot it. Yep.
Yeah. So Cammie said on one of her comments, can you address how you feel about what's going to happen to the property where the children were found and Tammy? So they're talking about Chad Daybell's house getting bought, and then the people that bought it want to turn it into a park, a memorial park for Tylee and JJ. I don't know. To me, it's a little bit overdone. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that. And I know they're asking for donations for people to bulldozer the house so then they can put a park there. So it's kind of sketchy. I think the people who bought it they own like a garage or some kind of businesses in Idaho. So I don't know why they're involved, why they would want to be involved in doing it. I don't have that information. I know everybody has the right to do whatever you want to do if the law allows it. You're asking me how I feel about it. I'm not a huge fan of turning Chad Daybell's house into a park. What about you, Rex? I think you like it though, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm thrilled that they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. I don't see any other motive, and they're big in the community. I think they do other very notable community things, all as anonymously as they can. There are people that know who it is or suspect who it is, but
yeah,
I think they're just doing it out of the goodness of their heart. So I appreciate that effort, and anything to bring attention to help us remember in Tylee and JJ, I love, and so I appreciate someone doing that, helping to remember them, of course, in a positive light. But there are a lot of our family members that just want the public to let this go away and not be reminded so much of the tragedy that happened. But I'm not one of those family members. I like anytime someone says or does or offers anything positive thoughts, prayers, I just appreciate it.
And then Terry says, in the court meeting Friday, the judge is not having, what does that say? I can't read it. Did you post it up there, Rex? Or is that Cammie's? It's gone now. I don't know. Did you hit it, Rex? I'm not sure. I didn't hit it.
I'm sorry, I accidentally took the star off.
Oh, okay. That's all right. I didn't see I couldn't read it. I was like trying to figure out where that went.
I'll get back to it. And
we can go to another one. Jamie Willwhite says, when will your next podcast be? I'm having knee surgery on Monday, so no work for me for a while. Well, sorry about your knee surgery. Rex had knee surgery just not too long ago, and I know it's no fun, but he recovered way faster than I thought he would. So we hope you heal super fast with that. Our next podcast, I'm I'm thinking maybe next Saturday we'll try to do a live with the guest is what we're planning.
Yeah, here's our plan. Let's just tell everyone our plan. It's
Okay.
not set in stone because it's not as easy as you might guess to get guests at the right time, etc. For everything to come together. But we are planning to do a live podcast every week. Saturday, we hope Saturday at this time. We'll announce it if it's another time because the guests need to be there. We want to have guests on our live, so we'll do one a week. We will do more than that when we have more guests or more reasons to do it. So we're hoping to have at least one guest a week and do a live podcast with that guest. So next Saturday, this is our usual live time, just because we've done so many at this time, and we'll let you know if it's different.
Here's a question. I'm really kind of confused about this too, because I didn't really know the timeline or what's been done. Because I don't really, with Lori's case, I tried to block so much stuff out that was on the outside that I didn't know from the inside. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it says, Adam, do you remember how you found out your phone call with the police had been posted from people getting FOIA docs? No clue.
FOIA.
The FOIA docs. I'm not familiar with the FOIA docs. I'm not following it. I don't. I know a lot of people, want to get all their information from those kinds of things. I really found out a lot of stuff from watching the documentary on Netflix, which they never asked me permission for anything. They just put my face and they said I was Brandon at one point. They got a lot of things wrong. And then I guess posted, I don't know who posted I don't know how my phone call to the police was posted, I don't understand how any of that happens. I got nothing to hide. I told the police everything I wanted to say and say what I wanted to say. And I'd say it in front of anybody, the same exact thing. So don't really know how I found out about all that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this was, as soon as I start talking, we get an overhead announcement. I'll come back.
As soon as that happens. Well, I know you got a thought on that, and I don't want to move on before you get your thought out. So we can't hear the overhead. We'll listen to you.
This was funny to me. When whatever documentary came on, we invited Adam over and a couple other friends to watch it together. I think it was Sins of Their Mother. Or Adam and Evil. I can't remember which one. We're watching it. Adam had to get up and leave. And just when he walked out the door, they posted the text, which we hadn't seen before either, between Lori and Alex. Lori said, "Hey, bad news about our brother." And Alex said, "What?" And she said, "Z." And so we called up Adam because he left. We said, "Adam, did you know you're on the hit list?" He said, "What?" That's how.
Yeah, no clue. That's how I found out about that.
That's how we all found out about it.
Yeah.
Just watching that. So we were not keeping up with the day to day. Sometimes we were, sometimes we weren't. Adam wasn't very much at all, because when I would call him, which I did periodically, that was a tough time for, just for us to communicate together, because I didn't know. You never know when someone is on or off, when they're following it or they aren't, or it's too much and they're taking a break. And so you don't want to call them and say, "Hey, are you following this?" "No, I can't. I'm too distraught."
Yeah.
So conversation during those times, it was just labored. It was very labored. So we, unless we called and asked, we didn't know who we could talk to and when and about what.
So, while this was going on, my thought process was, obviously Rex and I are doing a podcast talking about parts of the case, but our podcast is more about how to heal from what we experienced. And so sometimes people are like, well, you need to know what's going on in the case. You need to know all this. I was like, really, the things that I know is my brother and my sister, who I loved loved my whole life, killed my niece and nephew, who I loved my whole life, killed Charles, who I loved. So that's what I knew was happening. That's enough information for me to be like, I don't need to know details. If I get details, that's fine, but I'm not searching for details. I know a lot of the crime people that you guys love, true crime, you love to get details. That's fine. But for me, I didn't go searching out for a lot of stuff. So a lot of people are like, well, you don't know this and you don't know that. I was like, I know what I know. And so that's enough for me. I don't want to know anymore because I'm trying to heal from what I have to go through.
Very good. Okay, let's catch up on a couple of these. We have some people helping us out here. Cammie posted, if you search Colby J. Ryan, it pops up. So Cammie, I assume that's on YouTube. If you search that, then Colby's podcast pops up. I think is what Cammie is telling us. Thank you for that, Cammie. Here's a thought-provoking question, Adam, from Carrie Ann.
Okay.
From Idaho, Carrie Ann. Adam, if you could, would you want to and rather give a victim impact statement so you can say what you need to Lori?
Well, the problem with that is me saying something to Lori. It's not going to have any impact on her, in my opinion. I feel like she is in la la land. So me writing an impact statement to her wouldn't be as impactful to me as if I can sit in front of her later if she ever comes out of this delusion. I think for me, my thing is once she's out of the delusion, if she ever does, that's when I would want to talk to her or say something. I know a lot of people love the impact statements that they want to get. It gets them out. That's therapeutic for them to get it out. For me, I don't feel like it would be. I don't know why, but it's not something that I'm would want to do. I just don't think it would affect her at this point.
And technically, those are for the judge or the jury, whoever's deciding the penalty, but or the sentencing. But you're right, Adam. It is therapy for a lot of people, and that's not. I'm with you. I don't need that type of therapy.
Yeah.
KCL, thank you. She actually posted the link, so it's in the comments now under KCL, the link to Colby's YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So here it is. That's KCL. This is Carrie Ann. These are the two I usually confuse.
Carrie Ann and KCL.
From the Salt Lake area, and Carrie Ann's from Idaho. I don't know why that's confused in my mind. It's certainly not the picture. We have these big, beautiful thumbnails that are a 1/4 inch big that we can tell them apart. But
maybe you're dyslexic like me, Rex. You just never know.
That's my bad for confusing you two. Sorry for that. Adam, here's an important question from our own Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Adam, do I need permission to make more Adam and Eve cow pics? I'm only using your face.
No permission. No permission needed from that.
No permission needed. Okay.
Yeah, Kimberly, you do what you want.
Do what you want, and we'll see the evidence when the cows come out.
Yeah. I'm still in search for the perfect cow to hug.
I don't think you're putting much effort into that search.
I'm going to. I'm busy right now.
And Carrie Ann updated us too. The trial so far is still set for February. Thank you for that update also.
Yeah.
While you people are helping us out, would you please, Ana Franco asks, can someone post the Patreon website for the group grief in the YouTube remarks section? And in fact, Adam and I are going to start calling the people in Patreon because we haven't been as active as we wanted to be, and we want to find out what you want on Patreon. We'll schedule our next group chat, Adam, probably for next weekend, next Sunday. We'll post that.
Okay.
Post that time. And Alice is having her next support for the supporters at the same time she's established, which is Wednesday. Adam, do you remember the time she told us? I asked her specifically.
Wednesday, I'm going to guess it's afternoon sometime.
Yes, late afternoon. Thank you. Okay, Adam, I'm going to go off for a minute and try to find
All right. I'll take over.
what time
I'll
that
read
is,
this.
if you would.
You'll find that
Take over.
information.
Sorry about that, Alice. I don't think she's watching. So
No.
don't throw me under the bus and tell her that I forgot when I asked her
specifically. But again, when Rex and I started this whole thing with the podcast, and people were like, "Well, you guys got to name the people that watch your podcast or follow your podcast," and so somebody came up with the name Optimus. So we went with that. So a lot of people that watch us are called Optimus. And then people was like, well, you need to do a Patreon. Everybody does Patreon. We're like, well, what's Patreon? We didn't know about it. And say people will pay for service, and you can have the money go to the foundation, and then you give them extra things like you like their Facebook post, or you have a Zoom meeting every 2 weeks with them and let them ask whatever they want in a private setting. And things like that, or they get the podcast first and all that stuff. So really, if you want to pay for a subscription to Patreon, what would you want? Like from Rex and I, what would you want for to be able to pay for, $5 or $10 a month or whatever Patreon pays? I don't know. What would you want for that? So we're asking that question. The podcast is called Scar Wars. That's Colby's podcast, Scar Wars. And Colby's a big Star Wars guy. I remember as a kid, he would always have this lightsabers and playing Star Wars and all that. So Colby's been scarred as much as anybody in this. And so that makes sense to me that he would call his podcast Scar Wars. So I that's the name of it if you want to look it up. And at some point, I think I'll be going on Colby's podcast with him and talking to him.
Okay, so I came back with the information. 4:30 Central Time.
4:30 Central Time this Wednesday for Alice's Survive the Survivors.
Support for the supporters.
That too. You know who survived the survivors? That's the podcast we were on.
Our friends in the podcast world. Yeah.
I'll plug everybody today. Everybody gets a free plug today.
Thank you, KCL. She's trying to bail me out here very nicely. I talked about confusing her and Carrie Ann because both their names are Carrie, spelled the same way. Yes, there's a reason I confuse. It's not just the old age.
Okay, so it's not dyslexic.
I did turn older, Adam. I turned whatever age you want. Let's say 50. I just have 18 years of experience of being 50 years old. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still a young buck until you get into your 80s. Once you get into your 80s, I think you're young until you get into your 80s. Once you get into your 80s, that's when you considered yourself, well, I'm a little bit older now, wiser.
My dad died when I was 9. He was 45 years old, and I figured, 45, that's a good long life.
Right.
That's probably the age you should die. So
right.
He had a good run.
You're way past that.
So I'm way into old age. Let me address this because it's a matter of conscience. Terry points out Patreon costs $5 to get the services like support for the supporters. Someone asked me, and I'm going to go back and find. Please forgive me because I want to make this statement again. If you don't want to pay the money but want to go to support the supporters to try it out, please send an email to rexandadam@gmail.com and we will put you on there. My confession is somebody did that, and to my horror, I didn't see the email until the next day. And so someone's out there right now saying, oh, sure, you say that, but I tried that and I got nothing. Okay. And I'm going to look up and see who it is. It's Angie Lapine. Angie, my bad. Please forgive me for that. You will be available to go to the next one. And anyone else that wants to go to the next support for the supporters doesn't have the money or for whatever reason doesn't want to pay the first time, just go to check it out. Please send us an email at Rex and Adam, and this time I will make sure it happens. So
And
sorry, Angie.
I have to start checking the Gmail. It's my bad, Rex. I haven't been on there, so it's on my computer. I need to start doing that a bit better.
Okay, so both of us.
I'll take that. But yeah, so we were talking about, earlier with Colby telling me, that people blame him for things, people blame me for things. That whole thing, we were on that conversation. Christine says, "You are all blamed. You were drawn into it, into the ugly nightmare." Yeah. So again, being part of this family and having all this stuff happen to us, obviously, people are going to blame other people. You could have saved them if you would have done this, or you should have done this, and all that. We've talked several podcasts about, what could have been, what should have been, what could you possibly do when adults are making their own decision. Like, what are we going to do? Walk into Lori's house with yarn, tie her up, and not let her live her life because we think that she's going crazy, and then we go to jail for tying somebody. It's like nothing makes sense. Like, anytime you try to justify what you think you could have done, and nothing comes to mind what actually happened and what could have happened. So yeah, I don't think Colby blames himself. I don't blame myself anymore. Everybody wishes there was something that's different, but nothing like that. So I appreciate that. Let's see. We are all ready for the midlife revolution. Real So Personal Journey, helping our fellow travelers. I don't know. Is that Megan's midlife revolution? Is that Megan's podcast?
I think it is. Anna could tell us if it is.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar, like it's Megan's, and that's probably what she's going through.
Yeah.
Midlife revolution.
Yep. So that's everybody's got their own thing. Everybody should be able to do whatever they feel like they need to do. And we're always not going to be agreeing on certain things, and that's just how life is.
Now, KCL, if I have it right, you're the one that came up with the name Optimus. So tell me if I got that part of it right in my Carrie confusion.
If that is you, KCL, you're amazing, because that's the perfect name for the people that heal on this podcast.
Yeah, whichever Carrie that is, that's a perfect name.
Yeah.
Adam, us optimists don't blame you. We know the truth. We know you tried to be direct with Lori. We know you were not on board at all with the craziness. We know you helped and supported Charles. All true. I know that all also. And I don't say I know about very many things, especially dealing with this case.
Right. Thank you, KCL. Well, you getting ready to load your plane or what?
Yes, Adam. I was just going to say, Adam and everyone, I apologize for leaving a little bit early.
Well, we can leave early because I don't think we have any more questions. I think that's it.
Okay. Well, Black Widower asked if we've got a PayPal. I do, but I don't know what the address is, so I'll have to get that to you. But that's the last starred comment, and there I haven't been checking. We can say this about Colby from Carrie Ann. I love watching Colby. My whole heart has always went out to Colby. He definitely lost so much. Good grief, no kidding.
Yeah.
That is very true. So I will sign off and wish y'all well. Thanks for being with us. Adam, you can carry it on here. We have 97 people here waiting for your wit and
now
wisdom.
When Rex gets off, we're going to turn this whole thing over. I have two normal things to talk about that's outside of anything that has to do with healing or the case. We're going to turn this will be a 10-minute radio show for everybody.
Have at it. I'll watch the recording.
Yeah, watch the recording later, then you can comment later on YouTube. Okay. All right. Have a safe flight. I don't know how you're going to have a safe flight. You got to tell that to the pilot. Okay, couple of things that are going on in my life that the last 10 minutes will, and then Missy, you can star anything that people if they have comments about it. My son is my insurance agent, and I got 3 speeding tickets like 2 years ago, all in 1 year. My insurance for my car went up. And since he's my insurance agent, he says to me, if you get another ticket, I will not be your insurance agent anymore. So we just did my new insurance for my car, and it's expensive because I had 3 tickets in 1 year. So he says, Dad, if you want to get 20% off, Progressive will send you this thing in the mail and device that you put in your car. And for 90 days, it will measure how good of a driver you are. And if at the end of 90 days, if you get, 5 stars or 4 stars, your insurance will go down. But if you get 3, 2, or 1 star, it could stay the same, or you would have to even pay more. So it's risky. And I said, are you kidding? I'm the most competitive person. I'll drive like a grandpa. Like I'll just barely go whatever the speed limit is. I'll go 2 miles an hour under. So right off the bat, I totally forget about this. I know he installed it at the gym the other day. We were playing basketball. He installed it in my car. And so I'm driving the other day and I forget, and it beeps like super loud in your car if you do something wrong while you're driving your car. So it starts beeping and I look down and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I have this in my car. And if you brake really fast, it dings you and all that stuff. So so I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget. So I wrote a sticky note and put it all over my car. I have one in my rearview mirror. I have one right where the gas thing is. And it says, drive like a grandpa. So for the last week, I have gone the speed limit or under the speed limit, and I'm braking way early before I even get close to the stoplight, because I don't want to have my thing go down. So I'm in the process. 90 days of driving like a grandpa. So if you ever see me, remind me, because my brain, I just get in the car and I just go. So I got to be super careful with that. That's one topic if you want to talk about. Any pickleball questions? Oh, I do like that. The other thing was today, be careful when you're going to the grocery store. Now, I've seen TikTok videos about this. I've seen like things that show up. So one of the things I've seen was when you're driving, you have your cart and you're getting produce or whatever you're getting. If you walk away from your cart and your purse is there, you see people walk up, grab a wallet out of a purse and keep going. And the person that has their head turned, that's doing whatever, goes back to their cart, doesn't expect anything. Then when you go try to check out, you can't find your wallet. Somebody had grabbed it. So today I was at Fry's, which is here in Arizona, one of the grocery stores. And I walk in and I've got my cart and I'm over the produce. I'm getting a bunch of stuff. And so my phone is in the cart, and there's some fruit and some vegetables in the cart. And I leave my phone in the cart with all that stuff. And these phones are worth like, I don't know, sometimes they're worth like $1,500. They can be expensive phones. So I walk over to get tomatoes, leave my cart there. And by the time I picked out the tomatoes I wanted, I came back literally like 2 steps away. My cart was gone. And I started looking around. I was like, somebody took my cart, or did I? And so I thought, did I have it over here by the watermelons, or where did I have my cart? I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I started panicking a little bit. So I start looking around the store and I can't find my cart. And I literally turned my head for maybe 20 seconds to get some tomatoes. And there was a guy that was over there. I saw him earlier. And I started looking for him and he wasn't around. And I'm like, what is going on? Did somebody, and so I literally started walking around all up and down and couldn't find. Finally, I see that guy. and I see that he's pushing my cart. And so I walk up and I was like, "Hey, you got my cart?" And he's like, looked at me surprised. And I grabbed my phone and I took the cart. And he goes, "Oh, I thought it was my cart." I said, "Oh, where is your cart?" He goes, "Oh, I think it's over there somewhere." I said, "Well, let's go find it." He goes, "No." And he took off. And I was like, "Oh my, that's the first time that's ever happened to me at a grocery store. Somebody tried to steal my phone or wallet or whatever it is." So I'm just saying, when you're at the grocery store, be careful. Don't leave things in the cart. Put everything in your pocket or carry your purse with you. I was like, what in the world is this coming to? So those are a couple of normal day things that have been going on in my life recently. Hello in Scotland. It's 12:23 a.m. midnight. Zara, you're up at midnight. I wish I could stay up that late. My eyes just shut down like at 10:30. I try to keep them up till like 11. I'm watching TikTok videos. But yeah, let's see. What are some of these other ones? Ladies usually have our purses. Let's see what this says. We'll star that. Ladies usually have their purses in the seat of the buggy. You guys call it a buggy. Where do you call it a buggy? Is that Southern? Because I know in California it's a shopping cart, but then when you go to like Texas or South, they call it a buggy. It's so different. Or maybe Europe, it's buggy. I don't know. Yeah. So and especially, yeah, don't leave your kids in the cart or the buggy either. You don't want somebody walking off with your kids either. In the South, it's called a buggy. Okay, that's why. Pennsylvania. Kimberly's grandma called it a buggy as well. What do you guys call it? A buggy? Do you really go to the grocery store and go, "Hey, let me get a buggy"? Like that just sounds so weird. It's a shopping cart. It's a cart. It's not a buggy. We call it carts in Tennessee. Now Tennessee's the South. Why is it carts in Tennessee but buggies in Texas? All I know is if when you think about this, trying to decide if you're going to go to Walmart, Target, or another store. Walmart is the cheapest. You get the best deals, but the quality, who knows? But the carts are the worst. I've never gotten one good cart at Walmart. Every cart or buggy that I get at Walmart, I start pushing it and it veers to the left severely. Like I get a workout just trying to hold that thing steady. It's the worst. Target, I think, has the best carts or buggies. Everything goes straight. There's no hard things to push. But yeah, the buggies there's something different. Let's see. Where do you call it? European. They call it a buggy in Europe. I didn't know Europe even had grocery stores. I've never been to Europe. I thought they just had like every time I see a movie in Europe, it's like, oh, we're going down to the corner to get bread. And then you go somewhere else to get fruit. It's like, that's why I wanted to go to Europe. It's like so different. But if you guys have supermarkets in Europe, I don't even need to go then. Has anybody ever had anything stolen out of your cart? Maybe not something, maybe your food or something like that. Like if you got the last watermelon and somebody wanted a watermelon really bad, when you turn your head, did they go grab your watermelon and put it in their cart? Yeah, cart sounds right to me. A lot of you are saying cart. Yeah, Walmart. Yeah, the Walmart Target debate, buggy debate. Target by far, it's more expensive at Target. It's probably nicer. A lot of people feel more comfortable at Target. For some reason, sometimes when you go to Walmart, you never see these people in real life, but then you see them at Walmart. You're like, where are you? Like during the day sometimes. Like I've never, I guess that's judgmental. I shouldn't say that. Scotland, what do you call it? Cart, a trolley. I could call it a trolley. I like that. Let's do it as a trolley. I like it a lot. Let me get a trolley over here, please. I know in San Francisco they have like legitimate trolleys. but I've never heard a cart be that. The videos called people at Walmart are hilarious. Yeah, I've laughed a few times at not just videos, but I think there's a website too. People of Walmart. But it's true though. I mean, it's the only reason I'm laughing is because it's true. Like you see things at Walmart that you don't see anywhere else. Target never really that much. I know one person does. My old co-host will never shop at Target again because they changed the entry. They changed how they had everything. And this was probably 4 or 5 years ago. And obviously Target and Walmart, they set their stores up for you to spend more money. So I guess in Target, they changed where you go in. They changed the aisles, and all that stuff. I don't pay that much attention to that. I have an agenda. When I go to a store, I don't go browsing. I have a list. And when I get my list, that's it. I go and stick to my list. The other thing I haven't done with shopping is going to like order my groceries and go and standing in line in your car and then somebody brings them out to you. I don't know if I trust somebody picking out my fruit and all that, but then other people like getting a shopper there to come and do that is amazing. They'll do better job picking out fruit or vegetables than you will. And I'm like, oh my gosh. What is this? Adam unsupervised. Yeah, Rex is gone. He's at the airport. He left. We're not talking about Lori. We're not talking about court. We're not talking about healing. We're just talking about everyday things. Like I have to drive like a grandpa for the next 90 days. I had my phone almost stolen today at the grocery store. These are things that we deal with on a daily basis. This is the kind of stuff I talked about on my radio show for 30 years. Maybe this is an outlet for me to do my radio show on here. Rex, go ahead and head back to get off the podcast, and I'll just jump on here by myself for the next hour. We'll do an hour of radio show. Am I supposed to be clicking these, Missy? Or you? I got Missy's time. Missy, I'm sorry, I forgot. Let me hit these 2 starred. Adam, how long have you been single? Have you been single for 8 years? Oh, I have been single for 8 years by my own choice. Just curious. Carrie, I think I've been single. I think I've been divorced coming up on 4 years. So yeah, it's been a minute. 8 years by your own choice. Yeah, I know once you get divorced or you've been in a relationship and you break up, it's we all have baggage. That's the problem is we have baggage that we're trying to deal with. And to go meet somebody new and they have their baggage, can I deal with their baggage? Can they deal with my baggage? Especially for me, hey, my family's really important to me. We do everything with my family together. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, what? And how about you with your family? Well, what do I say at that point? I've talked about that. Here in Scotland, we call it a shopping trolley. I've lost 2 phones. Oh my gosh. When you lose your phone or your wallet, your stomach just goes into a knot. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's hard. Let's see. What's your favorite food, ice cream, or dessert? Well, recently I became what's it called? Gluten-free. I'm allergic to gluten. And I can't eat like any pie, cake, cookies, all the things that I love, I can't have anymore. But ice cream, Rocky Road, Baskin Robbins Rocky Road ice cream is my all-time favorite. Not just any Rocky Road, because sometimes you'll go to the store and get a Rocky Road and the marshmallows are all messed up, or they're not even marshmallows, it's that cream, and it's not the same. But if you ever get a Rocky Road from Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors, it tastes different than anything else. It's so good. Celiac is what? Yeah, I'm allergic to flour, I guess. Celiac. Brenda said she's been single for 14 and a half years. What's the hardest part about being single, or do you like it? I've met women that have been single for a really long time, and I don't really think they want a guy. I really think they like being single. All right. I don't know if I'm reading all these. There's so many things. You guys done with me now? I know you can hold on. I know you can do it. Be like a grandpa. Yeah. I mean, I'm at grandpa age, I guess. When you think of grandpa, you think older. And I was like, gosh, I'm older. I guess if Zach had kids, I would be a grandpa. All right, maybe I'll wrap this up. Sorry, Missy, for going over. Rex left me from to get on a flight to come back to. He's going back to Utah. I think that's it. I can't figure all this stuff out by myself. Well, guys, appreciate you. Thank you for watching our podcast again. Our goal starting on September 11th is to get 222 new subscribers. We want to get 22 new sponsors to sponsor the podcast. We're going to have a website where we're going to have therapists at your fingertips that you can use. All the things for healing. We're really going to focus in, and people who have PTSD. So all that's coming up. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Let me see if I can end this live podcast by myself, and go. And now.